Yeah, well, when you don't have any role models, you're in trouble. We agree. Let's pretend in the olden days it was different. The daughter looked up to the mother, and the mother looked up to the so-called grandmother, and the grandmother had a council of elders. And let's just, because this can be romanticized and made into like this was the life. I don't want to get into this. But in a way, there was a form of hierarchy and a form of lineage and a form of direction. So you look up to, and if you can't find answers with your mother, you go speak to your aunt or your, because there's a community and everybody understands womanhood in the same way, which is aligned according to their culture, and when we say culture, that means their truth. And it's undoubted, you cannot deny that a few generations ago, life on Earth was simpler and in a way closer to nature by the very fact that technology wasn't as it evolved. So you had no choice but to follow nature closer, whether you're for it or against it, because in order to survive, you had to. And in this day and age, it's madness. And so, but again, it's not true, there is no models. In the ethos of skankism, which is the modern religion of females, you have endless models. Everybody's a model. Of empowerment, go on Instagram, this is all you have. This is empowerment. Show your ass, be pretty in others, accumulate followers, make money selling your ass. And I think I pretty much summed it up. Well, isn't that it? That's living the life. Have guys rule over you, buy you flights to go here, go over there, do nothing, live the lavish, what's jet set, glamorous is the word I was looking for, glamorous life of just more stuff, richer stuff, as high as you can go. Isn't that a model? That's amazing. So you never work, you never do fuck all. People buy you everything you want. You go to the best places, eat the best foods, travel into the best locations with the best men. Have the most opportunities. All this because you have tits and ass and you got a pretty face. Isn't that like the life? Isn't that what a queen is? Well, not really. But, well, let's say I'm a young girl and I see I can have all of that attention. Remember, we live in a world of scarcity where people are internally empty. So they need to feed. This is the key. If you're internally full, you don't need this. None of this works for you. You're not an idiot. But the world is bankrupt. So people grow up, their mom were bankrupt, daddy was bankrupt, you're born bankrupt, so now here you are, you're hungry. You don't know how to cultivate true sexual power and true generative power. That means to create in the flow of the current of life, which will start to nourish you and replenish everything. You don't know. None of that exists. Nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about when I say that in the first place. So for you need to feed. So that's energy sucking attention. You need attention. And now modern world and technology gives you a technology that allows you to have almost infinite attention, or at least so much. And then what lifestyle are you going to have? An amazing life. You don't have to do anything. You get to have the best of everything. So you're a young person, you see that. I'm going to have a job like mom, get 2 jobs to pay the bills, or I have to be a nurse and clean people's vomit and shit, right? And like clean a dead body, and like, why would I want to do that? What's in it for me? I don't understand, right? Once upon a time, being a nurse was a vocation, and it was connected to God, because God was everywhere. It's not necessarily the true God, but it's like the Christian God. And the Christian God went with his church, established his community. Then you had the hard workers who had to like build the city or the village. And you have the hospitals where the women would take care of those hard workers when they would fall sick, so that they can continue spreading the word of God and bringing the kingdom of God on earth, right? So it was a vocation. Most of these women did not get married. They were busy working at the hospital. It's a hard job. Imagine, right, the conditions in which people lived and the disease that was there. Now I'm like, I don't want to. Why would I want to ever do that? So that I can I have money so I can pay my bills and do this and that. No, fuck this. All I gotta do is be cute. And then I'm gonna have some sucker, I don't know where, in India, who's gonna buy me whatever I want. And I could even not have sex with him if I wanted to. Well, I don't know. So I don't know. It's a tough choice in my opinion. Well, coming from the place of scarcity, it's like you're poor and broke as fuck. And somebody tells you can be a multi-millionaire, and all you gotta do is post a couple of pictures of you, or you can barely make $50,000 a year, but you have to wake up at 6 in the morning, work 12-hour shifts, clean shit, deal with nonsense for 6-7 days for 30-40 years. Well, I don't know. That's a tough one, right? No, come on. So the women are able to do that. We're going to try to capitalize as best as they can. The women who with a little bit of adjustment and a little bit of magic can try to pull it off will try. Everybody tries. Why not? So all this to say, this is the world we live in. This is a world of scarcity. This is a world where people are inner empty and they need to steal as much as possible to feel a little sparkle of pseudo I'm alive so that they can be defined and have a sense of self, which doesn't work. And that's why at the end they're sick and they're depressed. And once their so-called youth has passed and they're fatigued and used, then they're just like, they don't know how to be in a relationship with a man, because being in a relationship is something you learn. They've never learned. But now they're 30. Their sexuality and their bodies have been corrupted, dirtied, through their lifestyle and their actions and all of this, which of course has an effect on their health, their mental health, their emotional health, everything is. And then you're like 30-some and you have nothing to show for. You didn't use your youthful energy to build something. You have nothing. Anyways, well, this is the modern world we live in. So what are these chicks are going to do? They're going to start being bitter at home. They're going to try to find suckers that they can play with and try to play the game as long as they can. But they're on the down. And internally, they're in pain. They're alone. And the pain that they had when they were young teenagers, as it was awakened or highlighted through the awakening of sexual energy, is still there. But now that's like 20 years later. Nothing has been resolved, and you're so far away from the resolution now. Let's say your soil was decent. All you had to do is grow it. Now your soil is run. It's finished. So if you want to refurbish the soil, you got to work hard, and nobody's going to show you, and nobody's going to teach you because nobody knows about this shit. They're going to sell you the dream. No, you're amazing. You're awesome. No, you're not used. You're not tired. No, this is awesome. And now reinvent yourself. Listen, it's a load of shit. What can I tell you? And people are subject to this because this is the ethos of our times. And the consequences are very obvious to see. Men and women are less and less talking. Men are miserable. Women are miserable. If there are children, they're raised and controlled by the state. There's less and less birth, more and more disease, and people are staying more and more indoors, more and more at home, more and more isolated, more and more on their computers, and more consuming. And the next step is they're going to project themselves into a metaverse where they can have the perfect life they've always wanted to have, purely designed. This is what's happening. It's obvious to see. This is not pushing so far. It is a reality. And imagine what it's going to be in 20 years, 50 years, 100 years. So this is not a judgment, this is an observation. And it's easy to see if you have a little bit of sobriety, and you will see, okay, this is what's happening. And people are somehow willingly going towards this. Let's be honest also. I don't say people are victims. In a way, they're ignorant, but they're also very happy with their ignorance. This is something I've learned. Sexuality is power, and I say it all the time, and you've known this and you've heard this. Sexuality is power, and power is responsibility. It is both the capacity to respond to things, because you're swift, you can respond intelligently because you're enabled. No, enabled is not the right word. You're able, you can do. And responsibility means you're not responsible for what you say, what you do, who you influence, who you affect. You are responsible, because when you have power, there are people who don't have it, and now they come to you for help, for guidance, for God knows what. So you're responsible. And nobody wants this. People want so-called power without any responsibility. They want the perks of being successful without having to grow in power, which yields a form of success. They don't know. They just want it easy, fast, now. And in a few minutes, you have it's already there, right? What did you do that you took a picture of yourself from a particular angle that can be modified by an app that makes it look like you're not ugly, and then you put it on, and then you get attention by 1,000 guys. But what did you do to deserve attention? Attention means you've done something useful, you've been of service, you've solved some problems for somebody. You've done something that's got value. Well, what did you do that has value? You've done nothing. It's not even authentic, the picture. And then yet you received attention as if you had done something of value. So this is the world we live in. Who wants to genuinely work? And we say work equals prayer. That means generate. And most people cannot even. So there, in my opinion, and this is my observation, willingly, the majority wants that lifestyle that goes towards less and less responsibility, and more the side effects of success. And the machine is already providing that, it's in your hand. And then the next level is the metaverse universe, which is going to be an immersive social media universe in the sense that you can live. And then the next level is like construct how you want to feel. And we can make you feel this way via the technology. This is happening. And so I will not say human beings are victims. I don't buy into that. So no, they want this, and that's why these technologies are growing in parallel. People want that. For years when I was younger and zealous, I thought, no, people are victims. I'm like, no. Then as I got to know people well and deep and understood the mind and the psyche and the process of the disease, I'm like, no, this is exactly what people want. Things are happening because that's what they want. This is where things need to go. Sure, it may be catalyzed, agreed. It may be exaggerated, agreed. But nevertheless, at the essence, people don't want to work. They do not want power because they don't want responsibility. They want name, fame, and glory. And be like a person on TV. They want it now because they want to suck attention and feel like they are special. They are the most amazing person that's ever existed, like Justin Bieber. And in a way, they want to be seen by the world. Because they feel invisible, because in a way they are. They don't exist. So apparently, unless the tree that's in the middle of the forest, in the forest of the forest, in the middle of nowhere, is on Instagram and gets 1 million posts and 1 million likes, it doesn't exist. But it tells you a lot about the process of mental disease. So you don't exist unless others tell you that you exist. You have no self. Well, that's fucked up shit. So you have no self. Yeah, but okay, so I think we understand each other. So if you have self, then what happens? Then you obviously would be the opposite. You wouldn't care. You would have a different lifestyle. Which doesn't mean it's not because I don't need 1 million likes that as an individual I don't interact with other people and their interactions are not meaningful and productive and serve something. It's normal that human beings are with one another. It's the way humans are made. But look at how it is now. Anyways, it is madness because people are tremendously diseased and we are witnessing it. And for as long as we'll be on this earth and we'll be able to see, we'll see how far it will go. And you can be rest assured that it will get worse. If you want to look at it from this point, maybe it's just getting better. Doesn't matter. But it's going that way. Use the adjective you like.